Hey guys, welcome back. So got a swatch review and mini tutorial video for y'all today on these two palettes right here. These are super duper reflective and probably look dirty, and it's gonna be a little bit difficult to show it to you, but I'm gonna try my best. These are the BH Cosmetics Glam Reflection Rosé Palette and the Glam Reflection Smoke Palette. So we're gonna do like we normally do in these videos. We will talk about the pricing, we'll look at the packaging, we'll look at some swatches, I'll talk about the formula and just how these shadows are to work with, and then my overall thoughts and opinions on these palettes, and then I'll show you a little tutorial on how I got this look right here. So yeah, let's get to it. So the price of these palettes will vary depending on what kind of sale BH Cosmetics has going on at the time, but retail price they're $15.99. As far as the packaging goes, I'm not a big fan of just reflective packaging because it just kind of gets dirty looking. This is what the outside little boxes look like. So, I mean, they're pretty, sort of, until you hold them. And then they just get super dirty. You can see all my little makeup-y things from my tutorial sitting out. But yeah, I mean, they're just reflective, and I mean, they are sturdy and nice packaging. So if you've ever had, like their Forever Nude palette, their Forever Smoked palette. So the shape of it is similar to that, and it feels similar to that. It's just that kind of reflective packaging. The little swirly design is raised, which is nice, but so it's like functional and good quality for the price, but it's just kind of dirty looking. So not my favorite packaging. You do get a nice big mirror in there, which is really nice, and it's definitely a functional mirror. This is the Rosé palette, so this is what you get in this one. Nice collection of mattes and shimmers. It actually has quite a lot of mattes in this one particularly. There are 5 shimmers. So I mean, you do get both, so there is a good variety in here, but if you like matte shadows, there are a lot in here, which is great. I mean, these are really nice neutral blending shades, so this is a good standalone palette, but also a good companion palette because of all those mattes. So yeah, that's what's in that one. And the Smoke palette, just as the name implies, this is a more dramatic, deep smoky palette. So you've got some like dark blues in here, some warm tones, like a dark purpley shade. As far as mattes and shimmers, you get 6 for sure shimmers. This one is kind of like, it's not as shimmery as the others, but I guess it's technically still a shimmer. So you got that one in there, and then the rest are mattes. But yeah, just overall a deeper, darker, smokier palette in this one. Now for some swatches, here is the Rosé palette. I definitely feel like these palettes are some of those that you can't fully judge it by its swatches. I feel like it performs better than its swatches, especially that kind of middle row there. I mean, they don't look bad in a swatch, but they don't look super duper impressive in a swatch. So here they are, but I don't think it really tells the full story. We'll kind of get more into that when I talk about the formula, and then also when you see it in the tutorial as I'm using them. And then here is the Smoke palette. So overall, this one seems to swatch just a little bit more impressively than the Rosé palette, at least in a swatch. I mean, look at that color right there. So pretty. That one right there, so pretty. Really some gorgeous rich colors in this one. So as far as the formula goes on these shadows, I feel like there's a lot of different stuff going on in these palettes. First off, I definitely think you have to get past the initial layer on these shadows to really experience what they're truly like. Because so many of them, I mean, not so many of them, but quite a few in here seem to just kind of have that top layer that you have to get through, and then once you're through that, it's beautiful. Like this one is a prime example. When I first started playing with this shadow, it just didn't have hardly any pigmentation whatsoever, and I thought, what? It looks so vibrant. But then once you get past that initial layer, it's super duper pigmented and really beautiful. So that's one thing that I will note. I do definitely think that these are a step above some of their other palettes that they've had in the past, like the Forever Nude, Forever Smoke, like those that had this similar sort of a shape. I liked those palettes and I thought that they were cute and fun and I enjoyed them, but I do think that this is a step up from that. Better quality, they seem to blend better, have better pigmentation overall, wear well. I do notice that there are, so let's talk about the mattes. I'll say that first. The mattes I think are really great overall. Like they seem to really be nice and buttery feeling. A few of them are a little bit more gritty, but I think that's more to do with the color than like the formula of the shadow. For example, this like peacocky color, a lot of times these sorts of colors have that kind of gritty texture. Also, this one over here is a little bit, I mean, it's still pretty soft, but, well, is it that one? Which one am I talking about? Yes, it was this one. And again, it's probably that outer layer, because as I'm playing with it, it's getting softer as I'm getting past that initial layer. So there are some in here that are a little bit grittier, but overall the mattes are really, really nice. The shimmers, they kind of vary as well. Some of them are a little bit more gritty and loosely packed, and then some of them are super buttery. Like the ones that are super duper buttery, an example would be this light shade right here. This is super pigmented and beautiful. So love those because they're super intense and gorgeous. Some of the others, like this one right here, really need some help with a mixing medium, but I specifically used that one in my look and really liked how it came out. So I think overall these are very workable shadows. I think for the price point, they are still a good formula. They're not my favorite formula of shadow that I've ever worked with. I definitely prefer like the Zodiac palette from BH. That one is amazing, but I think they are still nice little palettes overall, and I'm really enjoying them. My overall favorite between the two would definitely be the Rosé palette. I think this one is just super nice and neutral and very versatile and will be very useful in a lot of different eye looks. But if you do like those kind of smokier looks and jewel tones, I think you'd really enjoy the Smoke palette as well. So that's my overall review on these palettes, and now we are going to get into this tutorial on this look right here. So let's get to it. So I've already applied some eyeshadow primer and set that. So now I'm going to go in with my Glam Reflection palette and get some of this color right here on a Cozette D220 brush. Tap that off just a little bit, and I'm going to build this up in my crease and transition area. That's looking a little bit deeper than I was wanting, so I'm going to get some of this color down here on a Cozette S175 brush. I'm just going to go over that and just kind of soften it a little bit. So the other one I was just using was the Smoke palette. So now I'm going to switch over to the Rosé palette. Now I'm going to get some of this color down here on a concealer brush, like a flat concealer brush from Sigma. Just gonna build this up on my lid, up into that transition color. I am going for kind of a soft neutral look, but I do want to kick that up a notch, so I'm gonna apply a little bit of setting spray to my brush for that. Oh yeah, that helps. Pretty. I'm going to clean up my brow bone just a little bit with this creamy color from the Rosé palette on a Langnickel shader brush. I think I want a little bit more dimension in my outer corner, so I'm going to get some of this color right here from the Rosé palette on just a small crease brush and just apply a teeny little bit of this in my outer corner. Now I'm going to apply some liner for my upper lash line. I'm going to use my Laura Geller Eye Care Waterproof Eyeliner in black, and then I'm going to use the same liner except in Cafe Mocha on my lower lash line. I'm just really lightly applying this liner on my lower lash line because I don't want it super dark. I just want a little kind of smokiness there. Then over that liner on my lower lash line, I'm going to get some of this color from the Smoke palette on a Real Techniques detailer brush, which I would not normally use on my lower lash line, but that's what I remembered to bring in here with me. I forgot my other brushes that I normally use. Now I'm going to apply some mascara and clean up my lower lash line, and I'll be right back. Now for just a little bit more fun, I'm going to get some of this silvery color from the Smoke palette on my detailer brush from Real Techniques. And I'm going to put a little bit of this on the inner corners of my eyes, and then also just a tiny little bit kind of onto the lid. Just kind of bringing that over just a little bit, just for some fun. I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this. Just because. Why not? Alright guys, so that wraps up this review and tutorial. So I hope that you really enjoyed it and I hope it was helpful for you. Please do a thumbs up if it was, and let me know down below if you've tried these palettes. What do you think about them? I would love to know your thoughts and opinions. Ask me any questions that you have, I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!